Each person in the world has a completely different genetic makeup, unless you're a twin, of course. Whether it is due to nature or nurture, people can develop psychological disorders. These can have a variety of effects on people's lives. The goal of my speech is to provide information on both the causes and impacts of psychological disorders. To understand mental disorders, you must understand the causes. According to Medline Plus, the cause can be biological. Schizophrenia is one disorder that is highly dependent on a person's genes. If your parent has it, then you're at a very high risk to have it as well. Bipolar disorder is another mental illness that is mostly caused by inheritance. It is characterized by periods of mania, which are euphoric high-energy periods, followed by periods of depression. Causes can also be because of your environment, as Mayo Clinic states. Many people who suffer from abuse can develop mental disorders. Abuse can create an inability to trust and form personal relationships. They also create a sense of isolation and fear. My first visual aid is a picture of this little girl alone in her dark room. I believe that this represents what abuse can make a person feel like. Having a poor relationship with family members during childhood is also a factor. A toxic relationship with a parent or sibling can create low self-esteem, cause anxiety, and in extreme cases cause PTSD. It is also important to understand the effects of mental disorders. Dual diagnosis gives an insight into how depression can affect a person's ability to learn. Depression interrupts a person's cognitive functions. This leads to victims feeling unmotivated, helpless, and unable to focus on their studies. People may not be able to acquire new information in school settings, which can lead to a decline in grades. According to Mayo Clinic, mental illnesses often lead to decreased enjoyment in life. People have no motivation to perform normal daily activities as they used to. People may become isolated socially, which can harm their friendships and relationships. Psychological disorders not only have mental effects, but physical effects as well. The Mental Health Foundation states that there is a strong link between your mental and physical health. Depression is associated with the risk of coronary heart disease. It has been reported that schizophrenia can lead to double the risk of heart disease and 3 times the risk of respiratory disease. My second visual aid is this chart. On the left-hand side, it says % having mood disorders, and on the bottom, it gives several examples of physical effects that a disorder can cause. As you can see on the chart, the bars are much higher for the physical effects rather than the bar that says no chronic condition. People with mental disorders such as depression may lose interest in physical activities such as working out. Those suffering from psychological disorders, for instance eating disorders, can harm the body from not having a healthy diet. For example, anorexia nervosa may cause a person to lose so much weight that the body cannot get the nutrients that it needs. Disorders severely damage a person's sense of self or any positive mental images they may have, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine. Many suffering from mental illness resort to self-harm as an unhealthy coping mechanism. In extreme cases, people believe suicide is the only option. Unfortunately, suicide is common among young teens and young adults who suffer from illnesses such as depression, eating disorders, or schizophrenia. In conclusion, psychological disorders are very serious and affect many people around the globe. They have many causes and effects. They can be caused by a person's biological makeup or their life experiences. It is important to understand these causes as well as the effects. Mental disorders affect the lives of not only those who suffer, but those around them as well, such as their friends and family. They can cause academic decline, heart or respiratory disease, self-harm, and even suicide. If you are ever suffering from what you believe may be a type of mental disorder, it is important to talk to someone you trust or a doctor to get the help that you deserve.